Well, a very good morning from Phuket, and just look at behind me the weather. It is absolutely glorious today. Having some fantastic weather here at the moment in Phuket. Wonder whether you can guess where I am today. I haven't been here for almost 12 months, so things are definitely going to have changed. Any ideas? Well, for those of you who follow my channel regularly, you'll probably recognise this because I have covered it, as I mentioned. We are down at Nai Harn beach today, so I'm a little way from the beach. I'm just behind it, and they have this beautiful, I don't know what you want to call it, a reservoir, a lake, I'm not sure what to call it, but this area here. And just over the back there is the Nai Harn Park, which is a great place to come in the evening time, early evening, bring some sandwiches, a picnic and chill out over there. They've got some seating and they normally have stuff on in that area from time to time. In front of me we have an area that is now cutting hair for free. I've just been talking to a guy, I think he said he was from Germany, Daniel. He watches my YouTube channel occasionally. He's staying out here long term. He's not an expat, he's not living here permanently, he travels backwards and forwards, and he was telling me this has sprung up. They do Thai people as well as Phalangs, and you can go there and have a haircut for totally free. They don't charge you, so a lot of people using it. They do have a little box where you can give a tip if you want and leave some money. And then he mentioned about this area, which has only been open 2 weeks, for the children. Again, this is totally free. A lot of the Russian families come down here with the children and let them play, so this is another great little area. But Nai Harn beach has a lot of facilities, and that's why I've come down today, because as I say, it's been a while since I was last down here, and I want to see what's changed, because there are changes going on all the time. And I noticed on the way down here they now have a market area just on the edge of Nai Harn. I'll have to cover that on a separate video. Not going to cover that on today's video because there's going to be quite a lot in this video, and it's probably going to be fairly long because I'm going to walk all the way around so you get a real feel for Nai Harn, see the size of it, because it is a big area and a very popular area. We're in the district of Rawai. Nai Harn sits in that district. Now, people have said to me when I've mentioned that the town of Rawai, Nai Harn, it's not officially Nai Harn, because Nai Harn area is actually this area that we're in now, that you can see. And it stops really at the bottom, down this road, turn right, and then up that road a little bit to the junction, and really that's where Nai Harn officially ends. But I don't class it like that. I class, just let these motorbikes go, I actually class it a little bit further down. I always have done, but officially it's actually in Rawai. So it's a mixture in this area because you have got a lot of facilities. You've got a lot of restaurants, you've got temples here if you want to take in a bit of the Thai traditions, etc. You've got some lovely beaches here because very close to Nai Harn you have Yanui Beach, of course. Rawai itself has a beach. It's not fantastic, the Rawai beach, but it's not terrible either. You know, if you watch my channel, I take Shadow down there for walks. So a great area to stay, really, especially if you've got a mode of transport, whether it be a motorbike or a car. This area opens up endless possibilities to travel out. You're not that far away from Kata, 5-10 minutes maybe. Karon, not too far, and again, of course, Patong. Before we get to the beach, I just want to talk a little bit about motorbikes, because I'm being asked a lot in my group about this. People are asking, can we hire a motorbike? What do we need to hire a motorbike? Can we do it on a car license that has got a provision for a scooter? Well, here in Thailand, the word scooter is a foreigner's word for motorbike, because here in Thailand all the scooters that people call scooters are actually classed as motorbikes. So to hire a motorbike or a scooter legally, you need a full motorbike license, not a car license, a full motorbike license. The lowest cc you're going to find Commonly available here is 100cc. People are asking, can you get 50cc scooters? No, you can't. Not easily anyway. The lowest cc is going to be 100cc upwards. And to ride that and to be legal, you need a full motorbike license. And along with that license, you need an international driving permit as well to be legal. Can you hire a motorbike on a car license? Can you hire a motorbike without a license? Yes, you can. You can hire it, but you won't be legal. Okay? So, what I mean by that is if you hire one and you don't have the correct license or no license, each time you get stopped by the police, you will be fined. Should you have an accident, you are automatically liable for the accident and all costs relating to that accident, regardless whether it was your fault or not. Because if you don't have a license or the correct license, you automatically get the blame. If you have a license and the accident wasn't your fault and you are fully legal to be there, then the other person has to pay. Of course, unfortunately, even if you have a license and you have an accident on a scooter, you are still liable and you still will have to pay. So just a little bit I wanted to clear up, because people are asking all the time about motorbikes, because obviously they're an easy, cheap option of transport out here, and I love them. I love the scooters, I love the motorbikes over here. It's a great way of getting around. Traffic here in Phuket is horrendous, especially at the moment because we're very, very busy. It's high season and we're having a fantastic high season at the moment. Let me just nip across here. So yeah, I wanted to just clear that up, but I've now got to the edge of the beach area. Just take a look at this. Now this is what I love about Nai Harn. You've got a beach that runs slightly to the left. It goes, if you walk down to the edge to the shoreline, you can turn left and it goes a little bit further down, and of course you can turn right, which is what we're going to do, and you can make your way along the beach. But there's lots of little areas that you can find along the beach where you can find a little bit of quietness if you want it, such as this area that's in front. So if you want to have a bit of space away from people and not be on the main part of the beach, there are areas here in Nai Harn. That's what makes it such a great place. One of my more favorite beaches. Not necessarily my favorite beach, but it's definitely up there. I've been coming to Nai Harn for a very, very long time, since I've been coming to Phuket, and I've always loved this beach. The only problem with Nai Harn beach is in the low season. And oh, there's a car there in the water. I don't know whether he's supposed to be in the water there, whether he's got stuck. I don't know what's happened there. Let's have a walk down here and just watch my footings, because it's a little bit gravelly and I might slip down the bank. But as I was saying, the problem with Nai Harn in the low season, and a lot of the beaches on the west coast of Phuket, which I've mentioned before, they suffer very badly with undercurrents. And Nai Harn in particular has some very, very nasty rip currents, which, okay, so we've got that there. Okay, you can see that yourself. They make a warning there of the strong currents, and they don't, I presume. Okay, so this is the reservoir here, and they're saying be careful not to get sucked into the gate area there. So there's obviously a gate here, and you can see the water is actually moving towards that area. I don't know whether the camera's picking that up. So you're not allowed to swim in that area, which is probably common sense, but I guess they have to put a sign up because not everybody takes any notice, like the flags on the beach. I mean, at this time of year, I mean, we're in early February, the weather is fantastic, there's no problem at all with this beach. What I'm talking about is in low season, maybe from June, July onwards up to late November, the weather's not so good. We do get a lot of storms, and of course the storms cause a lot of undercurrents. So if you're coming outside of the high season, be careful of this beach, pay special attention to the flags, because lots of people, unfortunately, lose their lives every year because they pay no attention to the flags. The flags are there for your safety. Please pay attention to them, especially in low season. In high season, it's not going to be an issue, and you're going to have, a fantastic time. So let's now make our way towards the beach area. You can see lots and lots of motorbikes. The traffic here at the moment in Phuket is, well, the only word I can use, horrendous. It really is bad. Wherever you go, there's a lot of traffic jams and hold-ups. That's why a lot of people are choosing the bikes, of course, like myself. The bikes are great because you can get around the traffic. You don't have to wait too long. I noticed on, well, actually Nat showed me this morning on Thai media, they've got a problem at the moment in Patong with the Middle Eastern guys renting the big scooters, the 300cc and the X-Max and T-Max, which are the 500cc, racing around the streets in Patong, bibbing their horn, shouting, and a lot of Thai people have started to complain, and this has led to the police having a massive crackdown. So if you're going to be going to Patong, or staying near Patong, going into Patong, then this is going to affect you, unfortunately, because they're cracking down on everybody, checking documents, stopping a lot of people. There's going to be heightened police checks in Patong, so just bear that in mind. That's because people are being silly out here, you know, and that's the way it goes, unfortunately. So just look at this now. Absolutely fantastic today. The weather is just stunning. It has been like this now for more than 2 weeks, and reading the forecast for next month, we're in for an absolute scorcher. The temperatures are going to really rise in March. They're saying it could be one of the hottest years yet. Very, very dry, hardly any rain to worry about. They have mentioned that because of the heat, it might cause a few tropical storms, cyclones, because it's going to be extremely hot. And I've got to say, even now, we've just walked on the beach. This is the busiest I've seen Nai Harn beach for a very, very long time. We're coming up to probably, let's have a quick look at the time. Yeah, 1 o'clock almost, 10 to 1. And it is the 9th of February today. So there you go, point of reference, so you know what you're looking at. But look at the sky. We've got a very light breeze, and I do mean light, but it's nice to have that breeze. But the heat is ferocious. That's the word I'm going to use. And just look at these, the brollies there, people hiring them. I've not seen this beach this busy for quite some time. And the German guy, Daniel, who I was speaking to earlier, he actually said in December this beach was packed. It's a little bit quieter than it was in December, obviously around the Christmas period. A lot of people come to Phuket to celebrate Christmas and the New Year. And of course it was very, very busy. So it has quietened off a little bit, but for me it's very, very busy. Kata Beach is in the media, in the Thai media daily, and it's extremely busy. Patong Beach also in the media, being very, very busy as well. So you can see a lot of people about enjoying themselves, and I don't blame them, to be honest, because the weather's just stunning. And as I say, anybody that's coming now or in the next few weeks, you're in for a treat, because we're going to have more of this weather. I want to come and have a look at the water quality, because last time I came here the quality of Nai Harn was fantastic, because of course the last 2 years we haven't had a lot of tourism, so it allowed the ecosystem around the island to start to recover. And you can still see, I mean, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but the water is crystal clear, absolutely beautiful. Makes me want to run in there and take a dip. It's so hot. Nearly. I don't want to get wet because I've got my trainers on today. I don't want to go in there. I should have put my flip-flops on, really, coming down the beach. Let me move back behind the water line, or else I'm going to get wet. And I don't want to today, because as I say, I want to walk all the way. The reason why I've got my trainers on and not my flip-flops is I want to walk all the way around. I want to give you a good idea of Nai Harn Beach. Looking fantastic, because it certainly does. Now, one thing I love about Nai Harn is, okay, if you're not going to rent the brollies, then you aren't going to have any shade unless you buy one yourself. But if you're just lying on the beach like this with the towels and the mats, it can get very hot. So come sort of midday, you might want to take a break. Nai Harn's got a fantastic area where the tree line is, as you can see, and in that tree line you got loads of restaurants, a few shops, so you can buy stuff for the beach, souvenirs, that type of thing. Not loads, but a little bit. Occasionally they have a market on in the tree line as well. I don't know whether they've had one recently, because as I say, I haven't been down for a while. But look at it, Just look at it today. Isn't it fantastic? Great to see it like this. I mean, I love to see it busy, but there are downsides for me because I live here. Personally, because it's so busy, is obviously the traffic on the roads and getting places takes a lot longer because there's so many people here. But it's just fantastic to see it like this, and it's really what Phuket needs after the last 2 years. Whew. You can see my arms are absolutely soaking wet already with sweat. Very, very hot today. Very hot indeed. And they're saying next month's going to be 43 to 45. And I'm like, woof. I mean, normally we're in the high 30s, but I haven't known it go into the 40s for quite some time. But this year, in next month, March, that's what they're predicting. Mid 45. So it's going to be nice. Going to be very nice. Bring plenty of suntan cream, which is something I always forget to do because I live here. I don't know why. We've got sun cream at home, but I always forget to put it on when I'm coming out, like today. I haven't put any on, and I should have done really because it's so hot. Of course, you do have some hotels right here in the bay, if you want to call it that, but it's fantastic. I can see jet skis on the beach here. I didn't know they were allowed on Nai Harn beach, I'll be honest with you. There's been some problem on a few of the beaches. Surin beach has got a problem at the moment because that's supposed to be what they call a white beach, where no water sport activities are allowed, and there's people hiring jet skis out on it. So the police and the other authorities have been down to clear them off, and they keep going back on. But this is just fantastic. Look at these boats here over there in the bay, just beautiful. I can see some stuff that you can hire out on the beach. Love this beach. And then just next to Nai Harn beach, just round this cove, you've got Yanui beach, which is another really nice beach, but a lot smaller than Nai Harn beach, of course. And then just over there in the distance is Ausain beach, which I've covered. Jungle beach, as a lot of people call it. I'm going to do a new updated video on that because I'm sure it's going to have changed, because when I went there wasn't much in the way of restaurants there, because obviously it was still just as the COVID situation was coming to an end. But I can see already there's a lot of stalls here, so this beach has changed a lot. The actual area all round here, as I've come through this morning, I can see a lot of changes, so I'm going to need to do an update. But I'm going to make my way off the beach now. Otherwise, this video is going to be so long, you're going to get fed up of watching it, and I don't want that. Try and keep it interesting for you. So I want to show you what's in here. Sometimes they have, as I've mentioned, a market. I don't know when. I guess it's just luck, really. If you come and it's on, then it's great luck. But it's not always here, but they have it in the tree line, which is great. If you come sort of late afternoon, early evening, it's lovely. But when the next one is, I don't know. I haven't seen one down here for a while. I think the last one was the Festival of Lights that they had here, that I did cover on my Facebook group, but I wasn't over impressed with it. And now let's just show you over the back here, because these here are restaurants behind the tree line. So you've got some restaurants and small shops, which is great. If you want to get off the beach, have something to eat, you haven't got too far to go. There's a lot of local facilities. And then just behind here, there's Nai Harn Temple as well. So if you want to take in a bit of culture, find out a little bit more about Buddhism and the Thai way, then visit the temple. It's not a big temple by any means, but it's a pretty little temple. But this is just a great area here. Plenty of parking down here, as you can see. Lots of places to park, whether you're in a car or in a motorbike. I want to mention just one more thing, and then I'm going to shut up about motorbikes. If you're going to hire a bike, please wear a helmet. I know this is common sense to a lot of people, but for some reason, when the tourists come on holiday to Phuket, they seem to leave the common sense on the plane when they get off the plane. And they come out here and they see all people riding around with no helmets, and they think, oh, let's not bother wearing a helmet. First of all, it is law to wear a helmet. Secondly, it's the quickest way of getting attention from the police, because they see you at a checkpoint with no helmet, you're being stopped. No two ways about it, you're going to get stopped. The fines have now increased, so be careful, because it could cost you a bit of money. So, and that's without your own personal safety. For me, I never go on a motorbike, regardless of the CC, without a helmet on, because if you fall off, even at slow speed, if you hit your head on the ground, it's gonna bloody hurt. Enough about motorbikes. I shan't mention it anymore in this video. We're going to talk about Nai Harn and the facilities around here. But look at that view. That's great. I understand why people have got the towels here and sitting, because you've got lovely shade. Obviously we're coming up to the hottest part of the day, where you're likely to get burnt if you haven't got any shade, and that's why people move into here. You've still got a fantastic view, as you can see through the trees, and you've got a little bit of shade, and there's a little bit of a breeze, and it's a lot cooler. Plus you're right next door to food and drink as well. If you don't bring any yourself, of course, you can do that. You will notice that at the moment, unfortunately, prices are on the rise here in Phuket, and that's because of the demand. So, but great. As I say, lots of restaurants there to pick from. Which ones are good, which ones are bad, I couldn't tell you. You're going to have to try them and find out. I haven't heard any bad reports lately of any of the restaurants here. I do keep my eye on the media just to see, but I haven't heard anything bad happening food wise down here. And we're coming down to, I guess this is the main car parking area for Nai Harn beach. I've parked the other side. As I said, I want to walk around and show you, because it's quite a big area. Lots and lots of sunbeds there, down there. You can see lots of people. Oh, I could do with a beer. Very tempted indeed. But not good when I'm filming. I don't drink a lot, to be honest, so if I have one bottle of beer, I'm done. not quite done, but I might be slurring my words a little bit. So I try not to drink in the daytime, because with the heat it really affects you, and it is hot at the moment, extremely hot. So that's the main car parking for the motorbikes, and there's plenty of parking as well for cars here. There's a few places that you can go and park up. Just up there, some souvenir shops and shops that you can get stuff for the beach. If you want to buy something from there and go on the beach, do something, you know, the rings, etc., then they've got you covered here. A few bits and pieces of clothing, and then we're going to make our way round. As I say, I'll do a separate video on Jungle Beach, because that's a really nice beach, only a few minutes away from where we are now. Just down this road, just follow the road all the way down, past the hotel, keep going, and you come to it on your left hand side. And that's a nice beach. I'm going to have to do a video of the area just outside of where Nai Harn is, because I see lots of new places opened up, lots of new restaurants. As I mentioned earlier, the market, there's a new market there. It's not massive, but I've not seen it before, so that'll be interesting to walk around. I've got a lot of videos to do in the coming weeks. I've got to try and find time. I will quickly mention on the video that obviously Nat, my wife, she has now started a hire company, so we do motorbikes and cars. So if you're interested in hiring something, then do check out the link in the description. Also Nika, who is now a friend of mine, she has a tour shop in Patong. She does tours. I've mentioned it before briefly on my other videos. She's very experienced, she's got a lot of knowledge, she's got a physical shop, so she's not just going to disappear. She does custom trips. I'm not going to say she's the cheapest, but she's very, very hot on customer service and customer satisfaction. So if you've got something special in mind that's going to cost a lot of money, then I suggest you give Nika a call and see what she can do. Mention my name, mention my channel or my group, so she knows where you're coming from, because she tries to do the people that I sent sort of recommend to her a little bit better on the price. She can't always do it, as she said. It just depends on the trip, the two of you want to go on, but she'll do her very, very best to give you an excellent price. She will try and match anybody else's price, but what you get from Nika is the customer service. This is something that I've mentioned before that's very high on my list of priorities. I think when you're coming over here, you need that good customer service backup, because you might be spending a lot of money, because some of these trips, there's the temple just there, well worth going and exploring. I'm not going to go in there today. It's on my other video, I think, so if you want to check it out, have a look at that. But it's not massive, but it's a nice little pretty temple. But as I say, if you've got something special that's going to cost you a lot of money, or maybe you're a big family and trips can work out a lot of money, you want that customer service, you want that backup. She can do everything in a shop, or she can do it all online. She accepts PayPal payments, so there's no problem paying for the trips online. You can sort everything out before you come. She'll take photos of all the receipts, send you everything, so you've got all the documentation, so you don't have to worry. But well worth contacting her if you're looking for a tour, a trip, something particular. Speak to her. So now we're just coming down to Nai Harn Park, and I quite like this area. We used to bring Shadow down here quite regular. We haven't been down for a while. I don't know why. I suppose there's so many different places, to be honest. And now we don't have Charlie anymore because we have the car. We've got rid of Charlie. Well, we've still got the motorbike side of him. We just don't have the sidecar part. We've sold that because we wasn't really using it with the car. But now, of course, the car is going out on hire. So we don't always have the car, unfortunately, to take her out. But we do take her out when we can, down the beach, of course. And we used to... I think that guy thinks this is part of the road, when it's not actually. This is the car park and the road is there. So he came around there as if he was driving on the road. So I'm going to make my way across here. I'm going to walk around the lake, whatever you want to call it, the reservoir, the lake, I'm not sure what it is. It's an area filled with water, that's for sure. And then in the middle, it's great because you've got the tree line, you've got the trees for shade, there's some seating in there. You can bring a picnic, sit down, relax with the family, and just chill out basically. Bring a few beers with you. And a great little area there. I used to love it in there. Like I say, I haven't been for a while, not because of any particular reason. It's just finding the time. I'm struggling with time at the moment because we are busy with the amount of tourists here. Of course, it's great for us because the businesses are busy, but it doesn't give me a lot of time outside of that, because obviously my YouTube channel, I've got my Facebook group, which takes up a lot of time because that's growing. Again, link in the description. If you haven't already joined it, consider joining it. It's very, very useful to people. You not only get my ramblings in the group, but you also get everybody else's. And of course, some people have more experience on certain areas, maybe restaurants, maybe other people know about a restaurant that I don't know about, and things like that, because there's a lot of stuff here in Phuket, so it's very difficult to know everything. But in the group you've got lots of members. It's growing now really quick. We're at about 4,500 members, just under, something like that. So it's doing really well. So I will thank everyone who's joined the group already, and if you're thinking about joining it and you do join it, then thank you for joining the group. And of course, don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing if you like this sort of contact, if you like this sort of content. Let's get it right. Back to this area. So this is great. Like I say, a lot of people come here early in the morning and they exercise. You get local people that will walk around this area or even jog around the area. I've seen a few even now jogging. Personally, I don't think I'd want to be jogging right at this minute because it's a little bit too warm for me. People have mentioned that sometimes I sound out of breath on camera. Well, there's sometimes things going on off camera that you don't see. And the weather just lately has been extremely warm, so it's not an excuse. I'm not terribly unfit because I walk with Shadow minimum twice a day, sometimes 3 and 4 times a day. So I'm not unfit, but sometimes I'm doing a lot of stuff off camera, and because of the heat, it really drains you here. I mean, it really does. People don't realise the climate here in Thailand, the humidity and the just sheer heat can be very fierce at times here. You'd be surprised when you come out. If it's your first visit, if you come in at this sort of time of year, it will be warm to say the least, and you start sweating very, very quickly. So we're going to walk down here. I've parked just over there. As I say, there is a gym area. We've got some machines over there. Everything's free. You can come and use it if you want it, if you're into that sort of thing. You want to do a bit of fitness while you're on holiday, keep fit, whatever it may be. There is some stuff over there you can use for free of charge near to where we started with the hair cutting, etc. But just at the bottom of this reservoir, I'm going to call it, rather than keep calling it a lake, there are some shops, mini mart, restaurants, etc. down here. So a great area, lots of accommodation locally as well. You can just see over here the accommodation, because as you come to the bottom here and the road starts to go up, you come into more shops, restaurants, and a lot more accommodation. So this is give you a good look at the Nai Harn area, one of my more favourite areas of Phuket, definitely, because as I was talking to Daniel earlier, and he said the same, there's a good mixture here. You have local people, you have expats, and of course you have tourists. So there's a really good mix, and not too heavy on any one particular nationality at the moment. Of course, we do have a lot of Russian people here coming on holiday at the moment. Also, the Chinese are starting to come now. So, a lot of different nationalities over in Phuket. I think if it's still there, there's a nice little French restaurant over there. I've read some good things about it. I haven't yet eaten there myself, but I will do at some point. If it's still there, that is. I think it is. I think I remember seeing it this morning. I was trying to look around and pay attention, but there's quite a lot that's changed in the last 12 months since I was here. I didn't realise it's been so long. I was sort of going back through and looking at my older videos, what I haven't done for a while, because I need to bring them up to date, because there's lots of changes going on. Being so busy, a lot of building work going on, of course, a lot of development. So, I'm not going to bore you with walking all the way around, but I'm going to walk the rest of the way, but I'm sure you're going to agree. Nai Harn is a fantastic place either to stay or to visit. If you're coming out to Phuket, then if you're not staying in Nai Harn, then make a point of coming to this area, because it really is beautiful. I should mention we're not too far away from Pomtem Cape, which is just up on the hill there, which is a nice place to go in the evening time, not when it's dark, just before the sun sets, and watch the sunset. It gets very, very busy. There's some nice restaurants, or there was. Again, I need to go and have a look and see what's changed, because there was some nice restaurants there that you could sit and have an evening meal and drink and watch the sunset, and it's just beautiful. So again, all sort of facilities in or very close to this area. So if you're trying to decide on where to stay in Phuket, lots of options. This is something that comes up regular in the group, people asking where do I recommend people stay. Well, honestly, there's too many choices to recommend one area over another without knowing you personally and knowing your tastes. So it's difficult at times to recommend areas, but definitely Nai Harn is a nice area. Whether it's for you, only you know that. But there's a good mixture, as I say. You've got good nightlife, plenty of restaurants, there's bars in this area as well. Not loads, not the same amount as in Patong, of course, but if you're looking for bars, then, you know, if that's your gig, then you need to be staying in Patong. It's that simple. But if you're with a family and you want something a little bit more chilled out, relaxed, not in your face all the time, Nai Harn is a good area. Rawai is a very good area. There's a good mix, as I say, and you're not too far away from the bars and the shops. You're 15 minutes away from Central, 15 minutes away from Katan Karan. Not even that, really, if you've got transport. So, but there's plenty here to keep you occupied. Now, while I'm talking about Facebook, I've been getting a lot of friends requests on Facebook, which I've now stopped doing. I don't add people to my friends. Now, that's not me being awkward or nasty. It's because I'm getting to the point where people are sending me that many messages on Messenger, email, group stuff, I can't cope with it. I'm inundated and it's just ridiculous. And sometimes people don't stop and think that they're in a different country, and maybe it's the middle of the night in Thailand, like 3 or 4 o'clock, and people are calling me on Messenger, not just sending me messages but phoning me up. So this is one of the reasons why I've stopped it, because obviously I can't turn off Messenger, because sometimes Nat will want to send me a message on Facebook if I'm not with her. Some of my friends, obviously, Messenger, they send me messages. So the only way I can do it is really just keep my personal Facebook for close friends of my own, so I don't get inundated, because I just can't cope with the messages, I'll be honest with you. So apologies if you've sent me a Facebook request and I haven't accepted. That is the reason. It's not to be awkward or not wanting to, it's just that I've got to the point where I can't cope with it. I get too much emails and messages asking me questions about Phuket and where to stay and stuff. That's what the group's there for. If you want to ask some questions, you can either ask me directly through the group, or you can ask me and the other group members, which I think is better, because you're going to get mixed answers, not just my answer, and then you can judge it a little bit better for yourself whether it's right for you. So that's something I've been meaning to mention for a few videos that I've done, and I keep forgetting, to be honest, to mention about my Facebook. So please don't send me any friends requests, because I won't be accepting anymore. I don't even check it anymore, because there's just too many. I think last time I looked there was over 800 people waiting for friend requests. It gets a little bit crazy, and then once I add people, they all want to send me messages, which is great, but I can't cope. I'll be honest, I just can't cope with it. And if I sat there all day answering the messages, I'll get nothing done. I wouldn't be able to do videos, I wouldn't get anything done. So sorry, but that's something I've had to do, unfortunately. Well, I'm not that far away from the bike. I've gone a little bit further. Oh, just before I go, there is an exchange booth there. Now, a lot of these booths, they get a little bit funny because they've all got this no filming, no photographs on them. Let me just see. I'm standing across the road and I'm going to see whether I can zoom in. I don't know how good this will work. Where are we? Now, I don't know whether you can actually see that, because I'm not using digital zoom. I'm using the optical zoom, but it might give you an idea, because when I stand in front of it, they get a little bit irate. But I will be posting exchange rate in the group more regular. I used to do it, and then I stopped doing it because one thing and another, but I'm going to try and start doing it as a weekly thing if I can, because Nat's got a friend that works in an exchange place in Phuket town called NC Plus. People who follow me will know I've mentioned this before, and they don't mind me going in and taking a picture of the exchange, and they offer very good rates. They're very competitive against anywhere else in Phuket. However, they're in Phuket town, so not always the most convenient. If you're staying in Patong, you're not going to want to go all the way to Phuket town. I understand that, but at least it will give you a guide. If I can start posting in the group, if you join the group, if you haven't already, then you're going to see these exchange rates pop up more regular, and you'll have an idea, because I know at the moment the exchange rate, last time I looked for the British pound, first time in ages it had dropped below 40 baht to the pound. It was 39 something the last time I looked, which was quite low really for the British pound. I think the Australian dollar was hovering around the 22 mark, 22, 23, that sort of mark. The dollar was doing really well, the US dollar. It was almost 38, 39 at one point, but it has now dropped back down to, unfortunately, about 32. 31, 32 it's hovering around at the moment, the last time I checked it. I haven't checked it this morning, but as I say, the last few days, that's what it's been hovering around. But I'm going to make a point of trying to keep you a little bit more up to speed with the exchange rates, because I know a lot of people interested, but you have to shop around. You know, wherever you're staying on the island, shop around a few places, try and get the best rates. People always ask, is it better to exchange the money in your own country or better here to exchange? Well, it's better here. Do your exchange here, you will always get a little bit more. It might not be a massive amount, but you will always get a little bit more. It's been like that for 20 years. So it's not going to change overnight. So I always tell people, do your exchange here. Yes, you can use credit cards, no problem, and there's also these prepaid cards. Most places take that, but it's always a good idea to carry a little bit of cash, because small shops, don't necessarily accept credit cards because of the charges. Small shops might not do those prepaid cards because, again, the charges. The bigger shops, you shouldn't have a problem, but the small places and the street vendors, I mean, nowadays most of my payments are done off my phone because of the banking system over here. It's great. You just get that QR code, you scan it, and you do the payment. You don't need, personally, I don't need to carry a lot of cash with me, which is great. I always have a little bit, but not a great deal. So that's great. But of course, if you're a tourist, you won't have it. You need a Thai bank account to do that with the app to allow you to do it. So again, even the street vendors accept that, but credit cards, no. The bigger shops will, but the small ones won't. So it's always a good idea to carry a little bit of cash just in case, and then that way you don't have to go thirsty or hungry because they don't accept your credit card. Well, I think I've babbled on long enough today. Let's see what we got. Oops, catch the cord there. We're at 41 minutes, so definitely long enough babbling, and I hope you've enjoyed this more in-depth look at Nai Harn. I've walked all the way around this area, so you've had a real good look, and hopefully you might consider staying here in the future at some point, or at least visiting it. And I guess that just leaves me to say, as always, thanks for watching the video, and until next time, I'll catch you on the next one.